So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Why not to buy iPhone SE? Now, before you say, what is this guy talking about? He's been making all these videos on this phone. He's promoting it. He's recommending it. We're speed testing it. We're comparing it. We know you love this device and you wouldn't be wrong, but just because someone likes a phone or uses that device doesn't mean they're not also formulating opinions on things that just don't make sense about it and maybe reasons why not to buy this phone. Like, there's a lot of reasons I've been thinking about. As much as I do like this device, there's a lot of reasons I've been thinking about why someone just would not want to buy this phone. And the first one is the battery life, because comparing this to a lot of other phones on the market, even some more, relatively cheaper Android devices, this phone just cannot compete. This is an A71. For example, a phone like the Google Pixel 3a XL does have better battery life as well. So this battery life is just not the best on the SE. Now, yes, it can get through a day, 5 to 6 hours, but this is one of the reasons I think many would say, nope, that's not for me. And just because I've been making some comparisons, a lot of people in the comments have been saying, nope, not getting that phone. Not everybody's been on board with this new one. And for some reason, I think just because it's not the smaller 4-inch iPhone and because the competition has changed quite a bit, this SE doesn't seem to have the same glamour that the first one had. Maybe that'll be the iPhone 12 5.4 later this year. So number 2 is the software operation is just a bit old, and that's because you gotta swipe up from the bottom. For example, it's just an older way of operating an iPhone. So if you take a look at the newer iPhones right here, like the iPhone 11, you do have the gestures on board, which is a nice experience. Also, you have Face ID. Just the way of operating this iPhone right here, the iPhone SE, it just feels dated. So the software is not dated, but the operation of the software just feels old on this phone. My third reason is that it's too big. If you were looking for a small, tiny iPhone SE that you're kind of used to, this type of size, this phone's just gonna be too big. Some people are not gonna like this as it's just a lot bigger than the 4-inch, but this is dead and gone. I don't think we're gonna see this ever again, this small of an iPhone. And if we do, that would be pretty insane. But yeah, it's just too big for certain people who are really craving another 4-inch phone. On the contrary, it's too small for people who just want a decent iPhone price, but with a bigger display. If you were looking for the iPhone SE, you wanted the Plus model, that never launched. A lot of people actually were saying, Nick, bro, where's the SE Plus? Is there a bigger version of this at maybe $499 to start, something like that? That didn't launch. And I think that would have been a runaway success as well. Just having a small one limits the options of a cheaper iPhone. Next up is no wide angle camera. Now, this wouldn't seem to be that important if the iPhone 11 didn't have a wide angle camera. Pretty much every single Android out there that kind of competes with this, besides the Pixel 3a, has wide angle. I mean, you can get wide angle. You can get these cool camera features, A51 right here, on many competing devices in the same price range. So most phones launching today do have ultra wide cameras on them, and not having that feature is kind of a setback. Not having the ultra wide just seems like a cut that most phones would give you, and it's pretty useful actually to have an ultra wide camera. Next up is Apple did not really improve the front facing sensor too much, and a lot of other phones competing with this device do have better recording capabilities, up to 4K at 60 on some, 4K at 30 on a lot of them. This one cannot even do 4K on the front. Just not gonna be the best selfie camera out there. So a weaker front facing camera for the SE. Number 7 is not really related to this phone right here, but the iPhone 12 is coming. That 5.4-inch rumored edition, rumored to be a smaller body than this with a bigger screen. That's what we're hearing so far. If that comes true, this will be kind of irrelevant, I feel like, in terms of, being in the small, awesome iPhone. If they make a phone at 5.4 inches that stretches in a smaller body than this, goodbye at this being the most compact. This will just be the cheaper iPhone option instead of the compact option. Number 8 is Android competitors offer major hardware benefits over this phone. Well, let's take a look at the A71. I mean, just look what you're getting here for around the same money, maybe even cheaper depending on the market you're in. I mean, you're getting a massive OLED display, you're getting a 4-camera system on the rear, you get more storage for the money. You can expand the storage on here, everything in the kitchen sink really when it comes to features. Lots of hardware benefits here, almost an all-screen display with just a little cutout at the top. You don't have to sacrifice having bezels and stuff like that. And then in certain markets, even the OnePlus 8, for example, is around the same price. I'm talking about India specifically. Wow, I mean, look at the difference you're getting here with this phone. This is like a flagship grade device competing with more of an iPhone 11 Pro, for example, at around the same money depending on the market. But in the US, that phone is a lot more. All I'm trying to get at here is that the SE has the processor under the hood, but it doesn't have a lot of the cool features that a lot of other phones in this price range will give you. So at number 9 is the Touch ID sensor versus Face ID. Now, a lot of people really actually like that came back, but having Face ID unlock, once you go to Face ID, going back to Touch ID seems like a step back. It's just really convenient to just look at your phone and open it. Now, I'm not saying Touch ID should go away forever, but having a Touch ID scanner inside the display, also having Face ID on the same phone would be pretty neat. So I think that actually is a reason not to buy this phone, is to go back to an old way of unlocking the device. Although some people really do like this, and I've praised it in past videos for being a neat feature, but this is also a reason some may not want to buy this phone. Next up is the LCD panel. This goes back to a lot of the competitors, again, having OLED panels in this price range. I mean, they're a lot more vibrant. This one's just kind of a basic LCD panel, and while it's not a bad panel, it's very well calibrated, has true tone, has dark mode, has night shift. Don't let people confuse you into thinking this is some top-notch display. At this point, this is a good display. It's nothing impressive though compared to pretty much everything else out there for this money. I mean, you get a lot more vibrant options on things like a Samsung A71, for example, a lot more vivid, a lot better video watching experience here. So you are getting just a really good, solid, old school Retina display, but it's nothing too impressive here for the SE. And the resolution on this phone is also quite low. This doesn't even push 1080p, which is one of the reasons why I would have liked to see an SE Plus as well. And as a bonus, the iPhone 8 still exists. If you want a phone that's like 90% of what this is, you might want to just buy a cheaper old iPhone 8. So those are some of my reasons why not to buy the SE. While I think this is a great budget option from Apple, it's a great cheap iPhone, I still recommend it if the pros outweigh the cons for you, like the better processor, the good camera in here, the longevity, and when it comes to software updates. If you don't like things like the weak battery in here, the older design, the Touch ID, the Android competitors just offering more hardware for the money, then you definitely want to look elsewhere on this one. So let me know your thoughts. Did you skip out on the SE? Are you not buying the phone? This one was totally about the cons of the SE. Let me know down below. And again, if you want to see the pros and more of the positive stuff about this device, go ahead and watch my review. It'll be linked down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to stay safe out there, stay well, and peace.